Hello and welcome to Oracle Storytelling. Hi, I am Sarah Wing of Sarah Wing Intuitive Arts. You can find some of my art on my website at sarahwingintuitivearts.com and other samplings on social media. And this is Oracle Storytelling. So I am going to be using the Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs as a book to channel for some information. I'm also going to be using the Celestial Tarot. Ooh, mysterious. And the Oracle of Shadow and Light. Ooh, also mysterious. And just kind of felt like, let's dig in, let's dance in this mystery, let's dance in this night, let's dance in this light, let's infuse a little magic, and let's see how we're feeling when we are placed against the backdrop of the unknown. So as you're watching, just kind of keep that in the back of your mind, how maybe what's coming up for you. Maybe you've been through many master classes in the unknown. You know, maybe you have a different name for it. Maybe it's you're kind of out in the void space. Maybe it's you've had these tower moments. Maybe you've gone through your dark nights of the soul. Or maybe you just feel kind of like you're wandering and you don't know the destination, but you keep putting those feet in front of the other. I meant your feet, but maybe you're putting like little paws in front of the other. So along with the Oracle story, there are a few things that, two things that I wanted to talk about, and I should mention one now, otherwise I'll just forget. And the first one is about art. Again, I'm an intuitive artist, and which means I channel my art. I just kind of get out of the way and allow. So one of the benefits from that is allowing things to unfold, trusting yourself that whatever's supposed to come through and come into your vision is happening. It's a kind of co-creation. And also, I'm so grateful that there's so many things that I don't know and I don't have to know and that other people know, because I don't want to have to figure everything out or know everything. That little blurb there. But also, so I recently started doing some collage work, and I have not done collage work since probably late teens, early 20s, or somewhere around there. And I just wanted to talk about it. You know, if you're somebody who creates, if you're an artist, whatever medium, whatever, you know, maybe you're a food artist, maybe you're a gardener artist. A million billion different interests, passions that you could be a creator in. Maybe you can relate, my intentions have really shifted, you know, and I've talked about this in other videos, but in general, the reason why I do intuitive art is because I used to create always with like an outcome in mind, a purpose in mind. A lot of times it was for some specific person, some specific group, something. And when I started doing intuitive art, it was for myself. And it was actually started, it was birthed from the process of writing my own personal myth. So it was very much from me, for me. There wasn't like some specific outcome I was looking at. Anyway, so I'm doing this collage work, which it's not channeling. It is abstract, and it is about using my feelings. How do things feel? How do they feel? And I'm sure I used similar skills when I was doing it when I was much younger. Um, but it's funny because I've been drawn to putting these collages together lately, which will then, it won't just be collages of different paper, but it's also going to involve paint, and we'll see how it unfolds. But it's funny because the last time I was doing them is when I would make cards, like these intricate, gorgeous, beautiful cards. And I'm pretty sure way back then I was doing them mostly for like boyfriends, which is hilarious. It's like this intricate, like hours and hours of time, like scouring all these like cool old books and like putting together these beautiful art pieces. They're art pieces, just unfolding, but I laugh because, I mean, again, that is really not the space I create from. And also, oh my God, it's hilarious to think I mean, you know, you're young, you spend a lot of time channeling and giving in relationships when you're like, wow, that was not reciprocated. And I mean, you're like, wow, those are beautiful pieces of art. Will they keep them forever? Well, we'll see. Maybe. We'll see. But it's just interesting to kind of think about things you might be creating now, and it might just be a fun idea. I guess maybe it's going to generate what comes next in the reading, but maybe think about like, what are some things that you've been doing that are creative, that are artistic, whatever your definition of that is. And think about kind of like when you started to do it. That might kind of be fun. Maybe there's something you can laugh at too. It's just like a pleasant laugh of, oh my God, it's so much better to create, it's the reason, like the intention I create it could be different. Like I said, I think I probably use similar tools, I don't want to share too much about them because I'm just like kind of feeling this very personal wave of energy doing this right now. But yeah, I think I use similar things. Like, I'm sourcing abstract, it's more abstract images that I use, because the times I would do collage, that did advance kind of how I was working with it. But it's all about feel. I mean, I'm a very big I feel person. So it's interesting. It's just interesting. So maybe that sparks with some of you watching who think, oh yeah, like when's like, who was the first, maybe it's like that, like who did I use this skill for? Like who was I using this for? And maybe it's a skill that now you're like, oh, it actually comes from me first. It's not about, I have to give this out. Anyway, just one thing. And we'll see if I remember the other thing at the end. So, you know what? Instead of unlocking the door first, I think let's start in space. Space. Let's start in the galaxy. Let's start with some... Oh my God. This card just like flew out. Wow. So remember I said we're in the unknown? Let's see how we feel in the unknown. Here we go. We've got the moon, the high priestess. So, oh God. So interesting. Okay. So we got the moon, the high priestess. I'm already getting like Aquarian vibes. I feel like she's showering in this galactic energy. I'm going to read the little booky thing, but okay. So we start out very much in the unknown. The moon represents, the moon, let's say we can say it represents divine feminine. Let's just go there, because the divine feminine, that doesn't mean like if you're not a, if you're like, well, I'm not a woman, so no, masculine, feminine energy. So the divine feminine energy is really really present. And it might be consciously or unconsciously you're noticing this. And especially for anyone who feels like, how could you say that? How could you, and you feel like all you're seeing is this abusive masculine, like this masculine that's not balanced, a very unbalanced masculine energy. Think about the moon, okay? This is about, and the high priestess, okay? These are energies of what is cloaked. It's seen in the way of like, you feel the energy, you feel what's happening, and trusting the inner feelings, trusting your inner vision versus like everything papered around you. What are you feeling? What are you feeling absent of that? What are you feeling? So I want to kind of emphasize the divine feminine here, and just say that the divine feminine energy is so present. And coming into the age of Aquarius now, firmly, Pluto is now, firmly in Aquarius and will be there for quite some time. We are firmly in the age of Aquarius, and really, and that's also like not just humanitarianism, philanthropy. This is out of the box thinking. This is very like sporadic Uranus, big jolts and changes. So that's also like a bunch of more unseen, in terms of that sporadic energy of Uranus, like, or Uranus, whatever. So that's another, we don't see it. Sometimes we don't see it. Sometimes we don't see it. And it's like, ah! And really, it's like, oh, you wanted to see change? Okay, you're going to feel it. But yeah, so we start off very squarely in the unknown, very in the unconscious state, so the high priestess, think of like going within, in your inner temple. How do you connect with yourself? Maybe when you just stare out at a certain, I don't know, maybe when you're cuddled up with your animal, that's when you really connect inward. Maybe, you kind of channel through an animal. Maybe it is like a meditation, or maybe it is, whatever it is, through a ritual, through whatever. But so we start out in the unconscious, very much feeling inner. It's not about the outside world. So we start very inward. Let's unlock a door and see let's put a name to some energy. I'm gonna, I feel like, yeah. Oh, okay. Got it. I'll take this as a card. It feels like it's this one. But whoever needs to see this card, this is a fun little one. So this is the Mildew Fairy. All right. Look at this badass, their thick ass boots. So we're going to unlock a door. We're unlocking in a few things, but for anyone that needs this. So cleanup time, the Mildew Fairy, there is an element of this card that is definitely about actually cleaning up, like cleaning your environment. Of course, this can also be like emotional, mental health cleanup. But sometimes when we do get very distracted by our external, what we see in our external circumstances, we can let things just get filthy. We just can, it could be little thing, or it could be like, oh, I don't really use that bathroom. So, oh God. And you go in and you go, oh yeah, it's growing. I see like little things of mold or something in the tiles or somewhere. So I think more than like, mental, emotional wellness, I feel like this card is for some people to be like, hey, have you been so overwhelmed and distracted that you really haven't cleaned up, literally cleaned up. And doing that doesn't just like do the great stuff for, the way your home looks, which affects your mental health and emotional health, but you could be getting on top of something that if you would just let whatever it is go, like another month, 2 months, it could start to build up something like a mildew or something toxic, or maybe you need to check around your house and just tidy up, and you're going to find something. It's like, oh, I don't think, like, that's a little leak, or, oh, you know what? I think that whatever this is over here, this is toxic. We should get rid of this. So I feel like that's just important, like checking in around your spaces, if nothing else, just to go, and you'll be drawn. Like, say you're like, I don't really want to clean up my house right now, or I just don't want to deal with. But you can do like a little walkthrough, and if something catches your attention, if something's gonna bug you, it's gonna bug you. You can go up, pick it up, clean it up. It could be something like maybe you have a secret little batch of laundry that never got clean, that's like a little damp, got thrown in with towels or something. And it's time you find that before like one of your favorite tops or something is like stinks and you can't get the stink out because it was like secretly lost in towels or something. Okay. So that's just a little fun reminder. Clean up. And that's more for, preventative care for just any kind of, to incubate any health issues or those examples I gave. I love this card. Fairy of the Divine Hand. How freaking cool is she? Like, seriously, I'm sorry. So amazingly cool. So we unlocked that door right into this one. We dropped right into this after we do our little cleanup. And it's intoxication, distorted view, overindulgence. So I'm going to grab this really quick. This is 2. I could just read the card, but I want to actually read a little bit from the book. Okay. Okay, so for this card, it's ever so likely that you are being urged by friends, loved ones, or even your own self to more accurately estimate the power of addictive behaviors and substances, and the power the addictive behaviors and substances can have over you. You know how it is. You start having a piece of candy, some soda, maybe a little junk food, and before long, you have more. My beautiful mom is dealing with sugar addiction right now, and it's killing me because I love her very much. So basically anything. So any kind of addiction. All right. Don't ignore the fairy of the divine hand. Thank her for pointing out your addictive tendencies. Acknowledge their power and then disengage and find support for living in clear, bright ways that don't leave you feeling drained, disoriented, or disenchanted. Those are some key words here, and I think it's very hand in hand with this other card. We have identifying what leaves you feeling drained, disoriented, and disenchanted. It's a lot of cleanup. These are cleanup cards. So we start out in this unconscious, in this unknown, okay? And maybe you're bombarded by all these outside things. And it's making you drop the ball on some, maybe it's just little tidyings, but again, you could lose stuff from just having a bunch of junk around, or maybe it's growing mildew somewhere. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know your home. But also it's saying, well, this is happening. Like if you're ignoring your surroundings, then yeah, maybe one of the reasons why is that you are digging in more into an addiction. What's an addiction? Well, it's a behavior that starts to, it's a behavior that has like a kind of control over you. You know, it's a pattern of behavior that tends to amplify. And then at a certain point, it dictates a lot of, are you okay to do something? Even simple things. And if you don't, eat a certain thing or take a certain thing or whatever, or watch a certain thing, you don't feel quite safe or right. It becomes like this barometer of safety and control. Okay. And it's, these two, I think, go hand in hand. I think they really do go hand in hand. I can see how these complement each other. So yeah, a lot of like the things you don't want to be aware of in your external world might be causing you to need some cleanup in your personal space and in your internal world. Okay? I feel like we just had a deep freeze in Michigan that we're just coming out of. And I feel like my brain is doing a little bit of brain freeze today. So I'm sorry I'm pausing so much. But it's just, very, very interesting. So those two go hand in hand there. I want to get another card from, let's like jump back out in space. We're going to space, so I hope you're imagining yourself, right? Got it? Okay. Okay, so the next card, and I usually never just draw off the top. I usually always shuffle. The next card, ha ha ha, ha 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 ha, you've got to be freaking kidding me. That's right, 2 moon cards. That's right. 2 moon cards. We have Pisces, the moon, and the moon, the high priestess. Good Lord. Okay. I know what's happening here. So, 2 moon cards. So, collectively, we are really living in this unknown space. Okay? Wow, we really are. And as scary as it might feel for some people, know that collectively, there is a veil for a reason. There is a veil for a reason. Okay? And behaviors like this are the way that we put our veils on, but there's already this huge veil up for the collective energy. So we're actually being shielded from a lot. And I would say the good things that we can't clearly see quite yet, perhaps, and the major big things we can't see quite yet that are very present, that are very protective too, know that they are out there. And they're something that unfortunately right now we just can't see. And there's a reason for that. Okay? It could just be we collectively need to get into more of a space of seeing with our heart, feeling in a heart space, so we can feel more safe and secure within ourselves. So, when you feel like jostled and unsafe and you don't feel secure, and like imagine that you're riding in a vehicle without a seatbelt and it's like this, like just a car about to break down and you're just jostling all over. Like sometimes that's how we feel on the inside. Like everything is shaking us, even though we might look still on the outside, right? And if we were in this car, in this feeling, and we came to a stop, and let's say the most beautiful thing you could imagine walks up to the window of the car and knocks on the glass and asks you, come with me and I'm going to give and gift to you, let you see whatever this amazing, beautiful thing or experience is that you can imagine. Well, if inside we're like this, we're still probably going to view the most beautiful thing we can imagine as a threat, because our body, our nervous system is feeling like, I am hijacked. I need to calm that down. And if we don't give it an opportunity to do that, if we're out of balance too much, I mean, we're all human, okay? Like, we're not perfect. I'm not saying you got to be perfect all the time, but this kind of stuff can happen, this kind of imbalance, okay? And it can tilt a little too far. So one of the words here we have, again, it's intoxication. God, my brain is like brain freeze. Wow. Addiction. And I promise I'm on nothing currently. So a strong thing about Pisces, not only is this like heavy unconscious knowing energy, okay? Certain things are cloaked for you because, like I said, I'm trying to give like a defined answer when I was laying that out, that example. But I could also say divine timing. And it could be for those reasons I just said. And it could be for you personally, but also collectively. One thing about Pisces. So Pisces, whew, all right. Pisces is the mystic. Pisces is all about, if you think like, okay, I'm going to center myself and I'm going to have this sense of knowing. Pisces is like the deepest knowing, your most like badass shamanic self, just, you know, like a witch sitting in the middle of the woods, speaking to the trees and the wind whispering around. It's that kind of coexisting with the elements of life, coexisting with the real things. That's why I say like nature. Trees are real things. Divine love is a real thing. So it's deep, deep, deep. But one of the major things about Pisces, and a lot of Pisces will have this challenge, is to tap into that mystic, that deep knowing. A lot of Pisces go through addiction. A lot of Pisces can really go into a deep addict state. And the lunar nodes, oh Lord, okay, so on the 11th of January, the lunar nodes shifted signs and the North Node moved into Pisces. And what that means is the North Node we have in all of our natal charts, but the North Node is where celestial energy comes streaming in. So all this, imagine you're sitting under the stars and all of this beautiful energy is pouring in. Well, it's pouring in through the sign of Pisces, which you can look in what sign it's pouring through in your natal chart if you know how to do that. But super generally speaking, okay, this is a deep mystical energy, yes, but it's also a lot of heavy celestial energy coming through Pisces. And if you are experiencing trouble with some addiction, addict behavior, this could be strengthening it. And I mentioned that these nodes, you don't have to really know much, but these nodes go through the zodiac signs. So again, on the 11th, if you might even think like, when did I like lose my shit and do this? Or when did I start doing more of that? Just as a reference point, the 11th is when the North Node shifted into Pisces. So anyway, yeah, wow. So we are firmly in the unconscious, personally and collectively. We are in the unconscious, in the unknown. Babe, this is where we are. How you feeling? How you dealing with it? Well, so far, we've got some stuff to kind of just check in with. hey, if you've kind of been like really sitting in your attic seat, I mean, I don't care what it is. Is it food? Is it drugs? Is it TV? Is it, I mean, there's a million things, right? Maybe just, maybe this is a time to gain like a little more awareness about it. Kind of just start to take note. And if you feel called to do something about it, I'd say, get on that, because it might be a little, you might feel like it's a little more of a struggle. So it might be helpful and supportive to you to kind of jump on that now. Or we are, again, in the age of Aquarius. So kind of things that maybe helped you before, if you've something's like come to mind recently and you're like, oh, that looks interesting, or oh, that might be a new thing to try. Look into that a little more, whatever maybe has sparked your interest. And maybe that's something that will pull your attention away, or just for whatever reason, whatever it is, help support you kind of cleaning some shit up emotionally, mentally, physically, helping you call more healthy attention to addictive behaviors, and maybe getting you in a different mindset, a different physical space, around a different group of people for a little bit, maybe. Right now, just something different, because Aquarian energy, as fun as it is to really dip into your mystic and get lost, and you can just like zoom out, babe, you can float, like you're good, like let's do this. As great as that is, we don't want to lose you in space. You don't want to get so lost out there that you don't have an anchor. So if something new's come to mind, maybe that's, or somebody's like said, hey, there's this thing I think you'd like, or a new person, a new friend or something, maybe it's like, yeah, maybe it's time that I try something a little new. Like maybe there's something new to kind of anchor you back so you don't float away, float into yourself or into an addiction too far. Whew, Lord. Okay, interesting. I haven't grabbed anything from Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. How fucking, doesn't this just look cool as shit? Like so witchy and just badass. Of course it's Llewellyn. Of course it is. So let's get a little magical herbal guidance. I'm already laughing. Why am I already laughing? Throat. Oh, Lord. Interesting. Okay. So, my finger landed here. That's beautiful. So cool. These pictures are so pretty. So, the name of the herb is bloodroot. Ooh, and I'm wearing this beautiful bloodstone. I love this. I love this. I love this pendant so much. I really do. Hi, Universal Connection Store. I miss you. Willow Glen, California. I love that place so much. All right. So it's bloodroot. And I got this before I moved back to Michigan. I think it was one of 2 pieces that I got before I left. So this wicked cool thing that looks like it has like a lily pad mixed with like that one kind of lettuce that looks kind of like that. Bloodroot. A bloodroot poison. Oh, the name is bloodroot poison, I guess. So the folk names are kingroot, redroot. These are cool. The gender is masculine. The planet is Mars. Oh boy. The element is fire. The powers are love, protection, purification. The magical uses. The root is carried or worn to draw love. It is also carried to avert evil spells and negativity. Placed near doorways and windowsills so the home will be protected. The darkest red roots are considered to be the best and are known as king roots or he roots. Really interesting. So we do have Mars going through, it's interesting, going through Cancer right now, retrograding Cancer. And I bring that up because his gender is masculine, planet is Mars. element is fire, and the powers are love, protection, and purification. And I just love that because that makes me think of Cancer. Cancer is very warm, nurturing, has a lot of nurturing, warm energy, and I think very loving energy. So it made me think of the planet Mars, as it references here, retrograding through Cancer. Really, really interesting. And I like that it's used for protection, love and protection. So in a balanced masculine, you're going to, in terms of masculine, feminine energies, in a balanced masculine energy, that you're able to protect without dominating, right? It's protection, not domination, not suppression. It's this beautiful protective energy. Look at one like that. For me, I'm I know this might look like pregnancy belly or like Empress energy. I'm also thinking Cancer, so Cancerian, like little crab shell. Like I'm going to protect my little, I'm putting, I'm amplifying this protection. And then, so it's bloodroot, king root, red root, but it's these roots. So you can even see down here, like the roots. So again, it's kind of in this theme that we've been discussing, which speaks to this internal. It's very internal, these roots inside, this internal knowing, internal knowledge. And so the protection, internal sense of protection and safety, security, internal. I mean, we really did get that root. And literal, it's blood root. So blood, where does blood live? Unless you cut yourself, right? It's inside your body. Internal, rooting. So I would say that this is speaking to also just, healthy masculine energy. So if part of your addiction, maybe you're a people pleaser and a rescuer, right? Okay. Maybe part of your addiction is protecting and being aware of, okay, am I protecting or am I dominating and suppressing? Am I going into shadow rescuer? Am I trying to rescue for my ego, like to get to a sense of enough? Am I rescuing because I don't think I am innately worthy, that I don't have innate worth and value? Am I rescuing in my shadow rescuer? Am I dominating and and dominating, suppressing could even be like, are you dominating and suppressing yourself? Are you burning yourself out constantly because you're like, I need to get to enough. I need to do this. I need to prove something. I need to do this. If I don't do this, then I am not, then I am less, then my value decreases. This kind of banal minutia garbage that is so destructive. So maybe you're like, well, I'm so peaceful, like I wouldn't, dominate or protect. Are you rescuing from a shadow rescuer? Or are you looking for, I've been helping so much, would somebody say fucking thank you? Okay, fine. Well, I'm going to do a back handspring while rescuing 8 of your dogs. And I'm also going to like do your taxes. And what's that? Your dry cleaning? Sure. Why don't I just paint your house? That's great. At one point, they will totally commend me and give me the Medal of Honor of being the most awesome rescuer in the world. I mean, I don't need it, but I'm just saying at some point, I'm sure it's going to come along. I totally don't need it. Totally fine if I don't. I just can't stop doing things for them until they tell me exactly how much it means to them. And, but I don't, I mean, it's fine. I can stop anytime. I haven't stopped yet, but, and I mean, it's not, the thing is, it's really not about me so much. It's really about helping them. Do you get where I'm going with that? Yeah. If you related to that manic tirade, then you know what I'm talking about. So let's see. let's settle back inward a bit. And we'll do our last card by unlocking a door. Let's do that. Let's unlock to drop. Let's unlock to drop in. Let's do it. I mean, this just fell. Something for everyone. That's right. Out trick-or-treating. We're here. So let's see what we've unlocked and invited into our home, shall we? Let's take a look. All right. I don't want to just read this card. I want to read some from the book, and I don't have these memorized, so. We're here. All right, we're unlocking a little door to our internal home, and we're inviting in these guests. Yes, we are. And why? Let's find out. Knock, knock. They're here. At your door, front or back, or at a window dressed in black, appear 4 little ones. If you include the little jack-o'-lantern, they may look scary, but take some time to discover what they have bubbling away in the cauldron. It could be wonderful, and yet you may be fearful that it's woeful. Are we seeing the repeating pattern here about the unknown? Some things tapping on your inside, and you're worried. What's that thought or feeling bubbling up? Is it going to hurt me? Is it going to be bad? I don't feel safe and secure in this moment. You know, it's that jostling in the car thing. The best thing could come up to your window and knock on your door and want to take you by the hand to the best thing you could imagine. But if you're not feeling safe and secure, babe, you're not getting out of that car. You'll drive another 200 miles without a seatbelt. Getting your butt kicked by an old jerky car. So, yeah, so the fear of, you don't know what's bubbling away in their cauldron. Wahaha. It could be wonderful. It's going to take courage to find out the truth. Oh, yeah. But if you do find that courage, you'll discover that you need not be scared by the appearance of death. He's just here to help you change. So death in the tarot is death and rebirth. Death is like transformation. Pluto in Aquarius, Pluto is all about major transformation. And this transformation internally, this bubbling up, these feelings that you're scared to tap into. Maybe they go against the grain of even what you see or other people see. It's just important to take note of that. And know that these could be very transformational feelings. I'm not saying that transformation is easy, but I'm saying that trusting yourself makes transformation a lot easier on your nervous system. So, yeah, nothing to be afraid of. It's just death. He is here to help you transform. Because with death, in this sense, comes rebirth, a transformation, right? So Jack-o'-lantern is here to help you light up something you've been hiding from already, right? And hiding, again, like, I just thought it's not like everything's going to be a werewolf in your closet. Why did I say that? I don't know. But for the one person who is afraid there's a werewolf in their closet, it's not like there is. There won't be, okay? The little witch with her apprentice, they're ready to help you understand the depth of your magic. So don't be afraid. So I'm going to read the message of divination. It's time to you. It's nope, it isn't time to you. Or maybe it is. It is up to you to decide whether you're going to take the time to discover what something is really all about, or simply judge it based on how it appears at first glance. So take the time to trust the internal knowledge. Internal. You can't see anything. We've got this very deep mystic energy under the moon, unconscious, high priestess channeling, unconscious, unseen, veiled. So it's up to you to take the time to discover what something is really about, or simply judge it based on how it appears to be at first glance. The trick-or-treaters help you see through conditioning and old patterns, and as they do this, they may reveal to you a world of more wonder than you thought possible. All you need is courage. And this card reminded me of the last thing I wanted to mention. It's just a little thing that came up recently in my life, and I just want to give some advice. So, judging on first glance, there's a few times in my life, and you probably experienced this too if you're a sensitive person, where somebody just looks at you, and from the moment they even look at you, before they even speak to you, you're just like, oh, okay, that was weird. Like, I don't think they like me. Which is fine, by the way. People cannot like you, and that's totally good. And if that's hard, and you're somebody who's like, I really want everyone to be comfortable or like me, think about this. What if you were in a room with like 20,000 people, and they all liked you? Good Lord. If you feel like you need people to like you and be comfortable, imagine trying to make 20,000 people comfortable. That shit is just not gonna happen. It's pretty scary, actually. At least for me to think about. Anyway, if you're like me, if you've ever had somebody just kind of look at you, and from the moment they look at you, you're like, oh, okay, I don't think they like me. And then you find out in interactions that, wow, they're really doubling down, tripling down. Oh, they really don't like me. They just don't like me. You know, it's a tough place to be in. So I feel for you when you go through that, if you're going through that. I just went through that. It was very man showed up right. This person showed up, really triggered the shit out of me. So that was fun. But I'm over that now. Thankfully, in a better place. But if you're ever struggling, if you're somebody who's like, because here's my main takeaway from that situation personally. I really felt, not just what I expressed, but I really felt like I wish it was okay. I wish that the person could just be like, hey, I don't like that person. Based on nothing, I have no reason. And also, I don't need a reason. I just decide, I see her face, I just screw that bitch. Or whatever. Like, whatever energy you're putting out there. It's totally fine. But I wish that, I feel like in cases, especially people who feel like they're like, I'm spiritual, so I can't this or that, which is so maddeningly crazy to me to think. Being able to just acknowledge, like, I have nothing I can point to or name, but I just look at you. I don't like you. I just don't like you. And to be able to acknowledge that, because at least from a state of acknowledgement, if you can just own, I just don't like you, based on absolutely nothing, and I will continue to just not like you, you can still interact with people in a way that isn't losing your fucking mind on a stranger. You can make choices. Amazingly enough, me, like everybody else on the planet, I also have come across people where I'm like, wow, yikes, I do not like that person. Usually not just from the jump, especially unless it's like a danger thing. But I can acknowledge, like, okay, I don't like that person. But it doesn't mean that I can't make choices when I need to interact with them. And from that place, I can make choices. That's kind of the thing. If I can't not like somebody, or it's not like I don't like them. I just have every problem in the world with them. I just think it'd be so healthy if you know, when you don't like somebody, just own it, acknowledge. You don't have to have a reason. You know, just acknowledge, I don't like the person. Cool. And when you interact, if you have to interact with that person, you can then make choices from that conscious place of maybe you limit your interaction. Maybe, I mean, you can just make healthier choices. And I think the sooner you kind of own, like, I just don't like that person, you're going to be healthier in your communication. You're going to limit your communication. You're going to set boundaries that you can hold. And I mean, you know, we all have people in our lives. Sometimes it's like a work setting or a social setting, and we're always going to kind of run into somebody, and we just need to be aware of that. And we're under no obligation to, you know, go above and beyond what we need to in terms of communicating with people that we just don't like. It's okay to not like people. Oh my God. Come on. Like, if you're a spiritual person that feels weird, let me tell you, that's spiritual maturity. That's actually being mature. Like, not everybody has to get along. That's the reality. You're not the caretaker for the world, you know. You're first and foremost the caretaker for yourself. And I'm sitting here. I'd hold up those cards again. You're the caretaker to clean up your shit. Sorry, I've been shuffling these cards, but to clean up your own shit. And it's a lot easier to do that if you can just acknowledge when you don't like something. A person, a thing, whatever. It's actually really healthy, and it helps set clear boundaries. All right. Well, this has been a very clear, eye-opening by stressing how much we don't know, and we need to really just look inward right now. I hope everybody is taking good care of themselves. I thought it was important to do a video today based on my own natal chart and my astrological alignments. I hope you do tap in and find some of that innate love and self-worth, and find that love sitting in your center and tap into it, whether it's through any methods you usually do, or just, you know, channeling the divine celestial energies. Finding a video that's just noises of space and closing your eyes and taking in, you know, the sound of space, sound of the great unknown, this vast, vast mystery in space. And maybe that's something that will just blow your mind and get you so inside yourself and shook in the best way, to shake open and sit within yourself. Okay. And I hope you know you are divinely loved and always loved. And yeah, stay warm, stay safe, and whenever this video finds you, until next time.